This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Jay Banky. Disclaimer to start the show. Portions of this program, all of it, have been pre-recorded before game day. So any of the topics we talk about on this version of the Voice of Land are all based on what had happened with the Browns up through Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. And with that, it is game day. Welcome to a game day edition of the Voice Land here on the Big Play Network, partnered with LPV Productions and sponsored by Vector Technical, the right person, the right job, the first time, and DP Construction LLC. Reach out to them for all your concrete construction needs. 330-217-4999. That is 330-217-4999. 4999 or by email tylerlafrada@gmail.com. You can always follow us on our Twitter page as you watch us at VTL_pod or hit the like button on the Voice of Land page on Facebook. Of course, if you're watching on Big Play, make sure you like their Facebook page, subscribe to their YouTube channel at Big Play and our YouTube channel at Voice of Land Podcast. That's where you can find the latest editions of Tales of Tailgating with our very own Always Positive Jay. And you can always find the audio of the podcast version of our show on Google, Spotify, Apple, all your major podcast platforms. Again, welcome to a game day, pre-recorded game day edition of the Voice of Land. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Arnold. Alongside me, as always Positive Jay. We will see where the positivity meter is at today after the game.
Very low, very low.
Very low. So we'll get a read on that. And, of course, behind that proverbial glass, our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tellup. He got a chance to go to the game. We'll get some stories from the game. Jacob's first game. Was that your first ever game as well, Peter?
No, I actually went to – I haven't been to many, but I went to a Browns game back at Old Municipal Stadium.
Okay.
So the first one at the new stadium.
No, this is my second one at the new stadium. But I haven't seen a win at the new stadium yet, so I'm not really happy about that.
We'll have to get you back out there.
Yeah, well.
Or when you're offered tickets.
Or keep you away.
Yeah.
Or keep me away.
It might just be bad luck.
It could be.
He might be an element of the factory of sadness. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll get some stories about that. I know Jacob probably had a great time there. He's always here in the background when we're doing the show on Sunday nights, and usually you can catch us live on Sundays after Browns games, 1 o'clock games at 7 o'clock, 4 o'clock games as soon as the game ends. If it's Sunday night, we will do a preview show. If it's Monday night, you get a preview show as well. So, because I'm not coming in here after a Monday night game or a Sunday night game after working down at the stadium myself.
I'm not either, so you're all right.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we operate now during Brown season, being the official Browns post-game show. And for this week, official Browns pregame show of the Big Play Network, just to kind of stay tuned to all of that. Of course, we didn't get a chance to do a show on Sunday we wanted to make sure Peter and his son Jacob got a chance to go to the game, enjoy it all, even though it wasn't enjoyable. Browns lose.
Not at all.
Browns lose to the Cardinals 37-14. And in a little bit, we are going to be joined by Hayden Grove of the Plain Dealer and Cleveland.com to kind of talk about that and the game against the Broncos we're previewing tonight, pre-recorded on Tuesday, just so anybody just tuning in knows. But Jay, watching that game, we got to give a chance to react to that, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff stewing inside right now from that game that you just haven't had a chance to get out.
Man, that was like a kick to the you-know-what. That hurt so bad to watch it, and going down so early, so fast, and it's just like, man, it just felt like you were playing catch-up the whole time. It felt like the old Browns, and that's what's really sucked. And then they had the Hail Mary right before half, got me sucked right back in, and then it just all went back downhill again.
Now, Peter, from your experience at the game, I mean, just what was the roller coaster of emotion like? Seeing the team go down, kind of like Jay just said, kind of like the old Browns, having that Hail Mary, feeling that momentum, and then just all of a sudden wheels fully came off in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was frustrating. It was, we started with the ball, and we didn't get anything done. We stopped them, but I don't know. It just, once we got down 14-0, it was terrible. I'm still trying to get my voice back because I was screaming so much at the refs. I mean, it was some of those calls were just so terrible.
You would have swore they were on the other team.
Well, here's the thing, that there was the one roughing the passer, quote, I'm doing air quotes. No one can see roughing the passer.
I mean,
call.
I got flagged when I opened the door today for roughing the passer.
You probably
They're like, you opened that door way too fast, roughing the passer 15 yards. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, that's just it. It was, I mean, from where we were sitting, and we had great seats, that happened right across the field from us. And we're like, what? It was just ridiculous. Everyone's
not too much later. Baker Mayfield took a pretty good helmet to helmet hit and no flag.
Yeah.
So we can't tap people, but they could just smash our quarterbacks.
Oh yeah,
with their helmets.
and the reaction of the fans, because they
Mm-hmm.
they replay that on the jumbotron, or
Mhm.
whatever they call those now, and it was so obvious. And
I thought Bottlegate 2 was going to happen myself. I was getting worried.
I mean, it's getting on the verge of that.
well, they'll keep
is.
pushing the. I mean, I'm not endorsing it. We're definitely no one here is
No.
endorsing this. But keep pushing Browns fans. They're crazy. I'm telling you, you don't want to do that.
Well, in the earlier they open Muni Lot on a Sunday, especially for a 4:00 game, the longer people have to kind of have a few adult beverages or a few extra adult beverages if they're actually going to the game. I mean, you're getting on the verge of that. And that's really a conversation that the NFL needs to look at.
I mean,
Now-
this fan base is rabid for positive or negative.
Right.
Mitch, you were there. Did you hear the Baker chant at all?
oh yeah,
I heard it outside the stadium when I was working down there.
I started a chant without even being at a game. That's pretty cool.
oh yeah. I mean,
Were you supposed to tell people that though?
there were
that you
some-
weren't there?
there were some other chants going around too,
Yeah.
in regards
I'm
to
sure.
to the officiating. But yeah, it was.
The BS chants start up there pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard it quite a few times on TV, and you're like, oh, maybe. You
And
should
the
drown
thing
that out
is
a little bit.
that first quarter seemed to take forever because there were so many flags, and so many of
Yeah.
them were. I mean, they were either just straight up bad calls,
Mm-hmm.
or they were just so ticky tacky that there was let them play the game.
I mean, literally every phase of that game went bad for us. The refs were bad for us. We were bad. We
Oh, yeah.
turned the ball over. Bad coaching, bad QBing, bad defense, bad special teams. Nothing went good that game. Maybe we got it all the bad out of us.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
got a
hoping-
lot of lessons from this one.
I'm hoping. I mean, do you guys buy into the conspiracy theory going back to the refs? So, like people trying to say, well, what Baker coming out against them and these players coming out against them, like the refs kind of somehow having something against them. Like you can't, if that actually is true, you lose your job right away. Like, I understand they're not paid well. And
No, I
stuff,
just think
but-
they're terrible at their jobs. Like all the good ones are now working in booths because they just were sick of what the NFL was doing with them, and they're like, "I'll just go make more money working for the network." Well, NFL, note to self: go hire those guys back because they knew what they were doing. Even if you have them just train the new guys, because these refs are the worst I've ever seen.
Well, the NFL can't get their rules together either. So they're changing the rules every single year, and then they're not training exactly what they're not training these refs or taking the time to do that. They're focused on getting as much money as they can. So to give credit to the referees a little bit, I know that part of it is on the NFL, and probably a good portion, not training these guys. Every time you change a rule, how many years have we gone through asking what is a catch? And there was so much gray area every time they were trying to change that call.
Hey, bad as the refs are, turn the ball over 5 times. Don't even matter
And-
how good or
well,
bad they are.
that's just it.
They gave the game
Yeah.
away.
That-
Refs are it's just a part of that problem.
I mean, I don't like to blame the refs when things don't go our way, because
They're just compounding with our problems.
Yeah, there was plenty that the Browns did wrong, but the refs, they were really bad. And I do think that I think subconsciously Baker coming out and saying stuff, I think that probably did affect it, because even if they're not consciously throwing the flag, they just might be a little bit, more trigger happy on it than
Who was it
the
last time? Who was complaining about the refs?
Joey Bosa?
Oh, and the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
It worked for them. Why didn't it work for us?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think if you want to believe it. I personally don't, because it seemed like it worked for them and not the opposite.
I don't think it's a conscious thing. So,
well, and like you guys said,
I mean, people do hate Baker a lot, so maybe
they
you're
do.
right.
He is a polarizing, like a very polarizing figure.
Yes.
It's you either really love him and you go at people wholeheartedly that hate him, or you hate him and you can't stand the people that love him. Like there's one side or the other. There's no middle
Fence.
ground.
No.
There is no fence. I mean, I try to be on the fence, but it's like if you even try to have that conversation, it gets lost in translation, or you get put into one side or the other, puts you in one camp or the other, and then you're being berated from both sides. And it's not worth it. But, Baker has done things not well this season to kind of take on some of that criticism, or have the criticism be warranted. When criticism is due, we're going to give it. When praise is due, we're going to give it. We're not these people that are just like, this guy, I can't stand him. Even if he did well, I'm going to find a way. I'm Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to find a way to tell you that Baker sucks. Like, that's not what we're going to do here. But I can tell you for a fact that the Browns, including Baker, sucked. And the referees their calls, while they were bad, did not impact us losing that game. We flat out lost that game because everything was bad. The defense giving up touchdowns on 3rd and long, can't get
leaving guys wide open, trying to play hero ball, not doing your job again.
This wasn't supposed to be this way. I understand there's injuries.
Oh, and the penalties that we did have were bad. Like,
yes.
That first drive, those were all penalties on us. We just let them go right down the field.
And there's going to be those, rough drives where it may be penalty driven, but penalties that aren't penalties. So, and they may score a touchdown on that. But that's 7 points. There was one drive that I can point to, and I think it was their second drive maybe, that, was just this long drive, all these penalties that helped aid the Cardinals getting down close, and then the Browns kind of giving up on in second down and third down and long plays, giving up big plays to the Cardinals offense that, is electric. You should have known that on tape. That's only 7 points from that penalty-ridden drive. There's 30 other ones. You can't go up against good offenses and give up 30 points and think you're always gonna win. Now, our offense should have looked a lot better. Baker turned it over 3 times. Put the team in bad spots.
You heard me earlier. I said we had 5 turnovers. Baker had 3 of them. The team and the coach had 2. Turnover and downs is a turnover. And I'll get into that later on this show, because I am not happy about these 4th down conversions they're trying right now. And
that's something I want to get into with Hayden too, is this 4th down thing, because you saw it in the
it's not just 6 points is what people they're like, oh, you got to take the points. Well, it's only 6 points. You lost by 20. No, when you get defense, I'll get into it later. I'll go on for a rant. I got holding this in all week, buddy.
But I know what you're saying with that, because it's
a momentum shift.
When you get points,
they've scored touchdowns on both of those, Kevin.
Yeah, it's disappointing looking at it from the offensive standpoint. Like, we got down close, but we had to settle for a field goal. Like, you can't do that every single time, but that's a little bit of a different motivation to then kick the field goal. And it's like, okay, but we at least have points on the board. If we can start stacking on some touchdowns instead of these field goals that we're kicking, now we can really build on the scoreboard right now. Like, they know, like, hey, we just have to finish in the final section, the final quarter of the field, and we can really get control of this game. But when you go for it on 4th down and you consistently don't get it, now it's like, not only did we not succeed, did we not execute? We don't have any points on the board. So now, as the other team continues to be allowed to score from your defense, now that gap gets wider and wider, and you really do have to score touchdowns. Now 4th downs become necessary later in the game.
I mean, if you're on offense and you watch your defense go out there and shut them down on 4th down in the red zone, are you not pumped to go out on that field? They just injected a whole bunch of adrenaline right into that offense. And like I said, they went right down and scored 7 points. Both those times, that's a 20-point swing people aren't talking about.
And you gotta, at some point, I love Kevin Stefanski being aggressive, but at some point you've got to balance the aggressiveness with smart football decisions and not just go with the analytics.
There's a reason people have been kicking the field goals for as long as this league has been around. Everyone thinks you're going to reinvent the wheel. Guess what? Things always come back the way they started.
Well, we'll continue this conversation as well. On the other side of this break, we'll be joined by Hayden Grove of the Plain Dealer and Cleveland.com to talk more about the game against the Cardinals and look ahead to Browns and Broncos tonight, Thursday, but of course we're recording on Tuesday. For those just joining us, we are airing this live on social media, but we did record this earlier in the week. But we do need to look ahead at Browns versus Broncos.
Jay and Kevin from the past.
Must win for the Browns on Thursday Night Football. We'll see. We'll talk to Hayden on the other side. This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
Welcome back to the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network. And at this time, we are joined by our special guest this evening, Hayden Grove, pro and college sports social media producer and reporter for Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer. Hayden, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us here tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Good seeing you, buddy.
Good to see you guys as well. Thanks for having me.
Of course, Hayden did join our live draft show a couple years ago. So we, of course, thank you again for doing that as well. Now, Hayden, I got to start with going back to Sunday, even though we all kind of want to move past what happened, Browns versus Cardinals. What went wrong for the Browns, or what actually went right for the Browns on Sunday against the Cardinals?
What went right for the Browns on Sunday against the Cardinals?
Yeah, was there anything that you could even pull that went right for the Browns that they can even have a
the Hail Mary pass?
Yeah, the Hail Mary pass. I thought they did a good job of managing the clock there. Baker after the interception, Baker was pretty good, but at that point they were so far down.
Hey, our kicker didn't miss a kick.
Yeah, exactly. Chase McLaughlin didn't.
He's
miss
still
a kick.
perfect.
Not a lot of good. Not a lot of good.
No,
that's pretty much all I can kind of put my finger on.
And looking at Baker Mayfield as a whole this season, kind of through 6 games, 3-3. Coach Stefanski called him an average team. That's what you are when you're 500. How would you assess Baker Mayfield on Sunday and just overall this season, especially going through what we now know is a fully torn labrum in his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder?
Honestly, I think he's kind of around where the Browns are. They're 3-3. He's kind of been a 3-3 quarterback to this point. There have been some really good moments. Played really, really well against the Chargers. Played really, really well against Kansas City. Played really well against Houston. Played okay against the Bears. And then didn't play very well at all against Minnesota, but they still got to win. And then didn't play very well at all against the Arizona Cardinals. So I'd say he's probably got 2 great games, 2 good games, and 2 not so good games. And to me, that kind of screams, middle of the road at this point. So he knows he's got to be better. And I don't think the shoulder is helping him, but I don't think it's hindering him as much as people think it is. I think it's more of an issue of stability. Not, again, the pain is certainly there, and probably more so now than it's ever been after the latest injury in that game against the Arizona Cardinals. But certainly I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to push his way through this, and it would be quite a moment if he could come out and kind of play this game against the Broncos and shut some people up and galvanize the team and really kind of set the tone for what the rest of the season starting against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I believe, like, if he comes out here and he starts playing like the Baker of the last half season last year through this stuff, man, they're just going to look at him like the ultimate leader, and he's just going to skyrocket in everyone's eyes, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I see. And obviously there's no guarantee of that happening, especially when you are dealing with a very sore shoulder. But I think the thing to think about is that I don't think it can get much worse. I think he's working on, a couple days rest. It's not going to feel good, but they can get it to a point if he wants to play. If he feels like, here's my point. If Baker Mayfield feels like he can go out there and perform his best and not put the team in a bad situation, then who am I to tell him he can't? I'm not in his body. Stefanski's not in his body. And what the medical people are going to say is, well, Yeah, I mean, it might do him some good to rest, but it's not going to do him that much good. So if he wants to play, he's going to play. I mean, that's the bottom line.
And it's been already much maligned this week about the quotes that Baker had. Of course, we are recording this on Tuesday, but playing this just before the game on Thursday night against the Broncos. But the decision kind of being in Baker's hands because he knows his body, people are kind of saying that it should be taken out of his hands and being given more of a break so he can get through this kind of mini bye week before the Steelers game, rest it a little bit more. What do you say to that kind of pushback on Baker being the ultimate decider on how he feels if he should play on Thursday night?
I think it's dumb. I think, of course, Baker Mayfield is going to be the guy that's going to decide if he plays or not. I mean, when he said that, I said, oh, yeah, obviously, that's every player, right? I mean, unless you're dealing with an injury that you think you can play through, that, the team's like, no, this is a real injury. Again, the torn labrum is a real injury, but it's not getting any worse. That's the whole point. He's played with it for 3 weeks at this point, and he wants to go out there and play for his team. He wants to go be the guy. And if he wants to go out there and he thinks he can lead them to where they need to go, and I bet you Kevin Stefanski wants him to be out there too. Again, that's your right. Starting quarterback. That's your leader.
I've torn my left one. I played an entire softball season at shortstop, and it never once bothered me at all. Like, obviously, I'm not playing football and going out there and getting smashed by people like J.J. Watt. But yeah, you can play through it. If the doctors said you can't play through it, they wouldn't let him. They weren't going to let him put himself in danger. And I think they just said, "Hey, man, you can play through it or you can. It's totally up to you." And he flat out told everyone how it is.
Yeah, it's a pain tolerance thing. If the pain is really that bad where he feels like it's affecting him, then he's not going to play. But if he feels like the pain is there, it's literally only a pain tolerance issue. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Baker, go get that fixed." For what reason? Baker
from the beginning. I said the biggest thing that was going to affect him was his sleep, and he finally said it today. Like, that's so hard to sleep on bad shoulders. Like, that's what I thought kind of how to play with maybe his first game back from that. Because when you don't sleep right, your decisions and everything's a little bit slower. But I mean, I could be totally wrong. This is total guessing.
No, I'm with you. There are definitely things that are going to affect him. But I mean, you don't want to just throw a season away if you can play through it, right? I mean, this isn't a situation where a knee. Again, if it's going to get worse, right? If it's going to get a lot worse, then that's an issue, right? Mm-hmm. Baker said today he has full confidence in the team, full confidence in the people around him, that they're going to look out for his, the longevity of his career. They're not going to tell him, "Hey, Baker, go play and put yourself at risk." If this was a legitimate risk, right? If it was his right shoulder, if it was, something to like a knee or something like that, maybe, okay, that's a whole different ballgame. But it's your left shoulder. Like you said, PJ, you've done it before. Odell's done it. Alex Van Pelt's done it. And they've done it to the point where they've never gotten it fixed. So, yes, it's an issue, but it's not as big of an issue as I think people are making it out to be.
If I'm correct, he doesn't even have to have surgery. He could just let it heal in the offseason, but it could, reincur.
Yeah, but
they're going to recommend getting surgery so it heals up faster.
Yes, 100%.
He's tough 100%. As nails, man. That dude, he's tough.
He is tough. And Hayden Grove of Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer joining us here on the Voice of the Land of the Big Play Network just before Browns take on the Broncos on Thursday Night Football with an 8:20 p.m. kick. And talking about Baker Mayfield being tough, you're kind of talking about the leadership aspect of this. And we know going back to Hard Knocks in 2018, Jarvis Landry, saying, if you're just hurt, you're not injured, and you're just kind of staying to the side, that's contagious. That kind of bad culture is contagious. And they've kind of changed that all around. You're starting to see guys wanting to play through more things, that they're being told that they can give it a go to play through it. Do you see that? How do you see that being a leadership thing? Like, describe to people how that's more leadership than it is people thinking Baker being back to his immature self as they used to see him.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Stefanski said it today. It sets a good precedent when your quarterback is willing to go out there and lay himself on the line for the team. I mean, he's in pain. There's no doubt he's in pain, right? He's in pain. But there is a difference between being hurt and injured. And I tend to think that, yes, it's a painful situation. But if he's played through it for 3 weeks and there's even a question that he can go play, he's going to play. That's who he is. He's just like we said. I don't think, and people are like, "Oh, he's risking his career." I really don't think that he is.
No, his left arm's not going to messes
I think
throwing
he's
up.
right. I think he's risking more pain. Yeah, and that's tough. You don't, of course, if you get slammed down by Von Miller, it's going to be a lot of pain, of course, and that's not anything that he wants to deal with. But if he's willing to put that on the line, and that's the quarterback that everybody has trust in, then I look at that and I say, man, if he can do that, then maybe I can sack up and do something. And I'm not saying that every injury needs to be played through, right? I'm not saying that whatsoever. Like Jarvis Landry, one of the tough, never missed a game, one of the toughest dudes ever. That's why I think there's like a double standard here. Jarvis Landry had a sprained MCL, right? Or had a sprain in his knee or whatever it was, and was out 3 weeks. Like, that's one of the toughest dudes ever. He's played in every game in his NFL career, and finally he got hurt bad enough to where it was an injury and something he couldn't play through. Odell played through a hernia. Jarvis Landry played through a hip thing. Baker Mayfield is going to play through this labrum thing. Like,
Our center's hurt for the last 3 years as a practice.
Right.
And he shows up every Sunday.
Right. J.C. Treader. Again,
Mentioning
Joe
linemen.
Thomas went through all this. I mean, again, I'm not ever going to tell somebody to play if they're not comfortable playing. I'm not ever going to say you have to play through pain. But if Baker Mayfield is willing to play through pain, I think you let him play through pain, period.
I totally agree. Mentioning hopefully keeping him safe, is there any word on Conklin or Wills? Can they possibly play Thursday?
They were on the side today, kind of going through their, ski erg stuff, doing conditioning. I don't know. I think, again, when you look at Jed, Jed was kind of in a situation a lot like Baker, but I think he was hurting the team. I think it got to the point where he was hurting the team, where he was not playing well enough to help the team, and then obviously that's why he's not out there anymore. So he was hurting the team, and now you're in a situation where maybe you get him back this Thursday, and maybe he's good to go. But Jack Conklin, I don't know a lot about what's going on with him either. I think they're both going to be game time decisions.
Now, of course, pre-recording the show and not having the advantage of having the 90 minutes before the game, the inactives, active list kind of in front of us, or even some of the reports earlier in the day, looking at it, if Conklin and Wills can't play, what does this team need to do to keep Baker upright, keep allowing him to have success on the field, but not throwing too much at this offense at two new tackles that we saw struggle on Sunday?
Honestly, I mean, it's about quick throws. It's about quick decisions. It's about they got to be able to run the ball. I mean, they did not do a good job against Cardinals of running the ball. They did, but they just had themselves in bad situations. I think they were looking at Kareem Hunt and saying, man, we don't want to lose him, which they ended up doing on a non-contact injury anyway. But I think they wanted to throw the ball to keep Kareem fresh, and I think the Browns have to run the ball. Dearness Johnson, I've said it all along. I've said it before the preseason. They had to keep him on this roster. He's a very, very, very good back. Sees the field very well, has a great motor, again, good agility, a really, really talented back, has good vision. So you want to get him the ball. Let Demetric Felton be your kind of weapon. He's shown the ability to move past defenders. He's shown the ability to shake guys, to catch the football, to run the football. Let him be in the game plan. And then that way, if you start to run the ball really well, then Baker Mayfield in the pass game is going to have a little more of an easy time. I do a lot of play action. Again, make sure that they're respecting the run game and get the ball out quick. Don't make sure that Baker's got to do a better job of not taking hits. I understand that your nature takes over, right? Your nature takes over. His nature is to go make a play. He's done it his whole career. But this is the NFL, and you saw it happen last week. 2 fumbles trying to make stuff happen. He's doing too much. Just sit back there, and if you got to let it go, let it go. Throw it away. Throw it to somebody near the sideline, and give yourself another down instead of running around and trying to make something happen when a lot of the times it doesn't end very well.
How do you feel about these 4th down conversions that they're failing on? I personally, people keep saying it's only 6 points. It wouldn't have made a difference. I look at it as you're giving the team a huge momentum boost, and they scored touchdowns both time we failed. So it's like a 20-point swing to me. Do you think they should continue on what they're trying to do with that 4th down, or start taking the points?
Yeah, I heard you a little bit before I got on, and we're going to disagree completely on this.
Oh, that's fine.
It's okay, right?
Yeah,
I know you, and you can go.
Guess what, people? It's okay to disagree.
Yeah, you can have real conversations like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I will listen to your rant. I will listen to what you have to say. Here's my point. My point is that he's only going for it on like 4th and 4 or less, right?
Mhm.
You should be able to convert that most of the time. You're not going to convert it every time. And when you don't convert it, the Browns defense has to be better. You're putting them, they're doing it in situations within the 20-yard line most of the time. They're doing it in situations where the defense should be able to keep them back, should be able to pin them back. I think this past game, I think both times were inside the 25-yard line. So they're already starting from a good field position. Like, you got to have faith in your defense. You know, if they keep kicking field goals, that to me shows, well, you know, they have some faith in their defense, but not as much as it shows me when they're going for it. And I seem to believe that they have a ton of faith in their defense. So I love the aggressiveness. I think those tides are going to turn. I think they're going to start to convert these things soon. You know, right now there's just been some miscommunications. But Baker's right. He said we have to go out there and execute and get the job done and get the first down. And he's right. You got to do it. And I think they'll continue to do it. I think they'll continue to do it when they're down in the 30-yard line area. You know, where they feel like it's 3rd and less than 5. I mean, or 4th and less than 5, or maybe even 4th and 4 or less. It's got to be something they convert. I love the aggressiveness of it. I love them. It's a numbers thing. That's what it is. It's not Kevin Stefanski just saying, hey, you know, we're going to go out there and do this because this is how we do things. No, it's a numbers thing. You look at the amount of second for third. You look at the amount of yards you gain on a single play. The averages say that you should be able to get 4 yards on an NFL play. And I think, like I said, I think tides are going to turn. I think they're going to start to convert them because the law of average is going to balance out.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I mean, I like when they go for it. Like, I get excited.
Here's the thing.
And then when they fail, it's just like such a huge momentum loss and a huge boost to the other team. So it's like, if you're going to go for it, and I am with you. I want him to go for it, but you got to execute, man. Because if you don't, it's like the double whammy. I see them as turnovers. I view them just like a fumble or an interception because you're just giving the ball right away to them.
And here's the thing, too, is that I think when you look at Arizona, I mean, you knew they were going to come out and score. When you're playing a really good offense like that, you got to score 7 points. You got to be able to score 7 points. So I'm with you. I understand your point completely. I just believe that that they're going to start making them. They're going to start converting them. And the defense just has to be better. You can't get the ball inside the 15 and let them go 85 yards. I mean, it's not going to work. So defense got to be better. They got to execute better. And if they continue to not make their first downs, then you got to start thinking about, okay, you know, if we're in the point in the season, they're like, you know, halfway through and they're still not getting it done, then you got to start to think, okay, you know, maybe we should just kick the field goal because we obviously can't convert on 4th down. But to this point, you know, it hasn't been great, but I think the numbers are still close enough to where it can turn around.
I mean, last year it seemed like they're a lot more successful. I don't have the stats on it, but from memory, I feel like they got a lot of them last year.
But and that's the whole point, is that they need to get back to converting them 100%.
But they're also a team to give up one of the most 4th downs defensively against them, and we haven't seen that really change yet this season. And Hayden, I know you mentioned the confidence level, the coaching staff having the confidence level in the defense, and that's why they keep going for it. Do you have a few seconds to hang on with us through the break, and we can talk more about the defense on the other side and get your keys to the Browns versus Broncos if you have some time to stick around with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
All right. You guys are tuned in to the Voice of the Land of the Big Play Network. Just before Browns take on the Broncos on Thursday Night Football, 8:20 is kickoff this evening. Of course, we'll be right back with more from Hayden Grove and our Voice of the Land crew.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
Welcome back to the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network. Kevin Arnold alongside Always Positive Jay and our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tellup. And we are still joined by Hayden Grove of Cleveland.com. And Hayden, we went to break talking about fourth down conversions for the Browns offense. And that's showing, you kind of mentioning, that's showing the confidence level the coaching staff has in their defense and that being strong. Should they have that strong confidence level in their defense right now, the way they're playing and all this miscommunication and busted coverages that we're seeing from this defense?
I mean, yes, because they have the talent, right? You look at the players on the board, you look at their defensive line, you look at their defensive ends. They have the talent. They're a talented group. They're just not putting it together for whatever reason. And I don't know if that's coaching on the individual level. I don't know if it's communication. But when they're locked in, I mean, they're a hell of a team. You've seen
the flashes of this defense.
Right, you
they're
saw it against the
phenomenal when
Vikings.
they want to be.
Right. You saw it against the Vikings. You saw it against the rookie quarterback in Justin Fields against the Bears. But I think the Vikings game, I mean, you saw great coverage. And the problem is when they're not getting I don't think they're going to be a good defense against mobile quarterbacks. And that's scary for Lamar because obviously you play Lamar twice.
And that goes for almost every NFL team.
Right. That does. Correct. But you're not going to be very successful against most mobile quarterbacks because your best attribute as a defense is Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. That is your pass rush is your best attribute. So when you kind of can't pin your ears back and go get guys, go get a guy like Kyler Murray because he'll dance right around you. It's going to be hard. So when you have to rely on your defensive backs, I mean, again, and no team in the NFL is locking guys up the way they used to. I mean, again, the NFL is such a passing league and all these passing interference and stuff. And I mean, it's crazy. So I'm not confident in this Browns defense against running quarterbacks. It's going to be a problem against Lamar. You look, even down in the future. I mean, Patrick Mahomes did a pretty good job staying out of it. You look at Josh Allen. I mean, the mobile quarterbacks are going to be an issue, but maybe there will be time for the defense to kind of shore up that ability in the secondary to kind of continue to cover guys. Because if you can get after a quarterback the way that Myles and Jadeveon can, things are going to be okay. But if you can't, if you kind of have to play conservatively against a really, really good running quarterback, there's going to be problems.
Having JOK go down, that's really going to make it harder because he seemed like the guy that could be the one possibly chasing these guys down. And I heard he was a high ankle sprain possibly now.
Yeah. Yes.
That's sad. He was having such a good young year too.
Yeah. And again, hopefully it's only 3-4 weeks, but he was the one that was going to help that. And not having him, you got to be able to play sound. The good news, I think for the Browns is that when I look at the upcoming schedule, you have Teddy Bridgewater, who's, mobile, but not overly so. You have Big Ben, who's no longer mobile. You have Joe Burrow, who's not the most mobile guy. You have Mac Jones. You have Jared Goff. You have, you have guys that are not super mobile. So that is going to be, again, maybe an opportunity for them to gain some momentum, maybe an opportunity for them to gain a little bit of faith in themselves, some confidence. And then you go play, Lamar Jackson twice in a row. So by that time, hopefully you can find some confidence, find some health, and get back to where you want to be.
What I'm hoping is this defense clicks how last year's offense clicked, and just 1 week, boom, they just get it all figured out, and everyone's on the same page, and they just show what they did in Minnesota every week. That'd be awesome.
Well, that's the scary part too, is that they've put it together twice in really, really, really great defensive performances against Chicago, Minnesota. But then you look at two awful defensive performances like the ones against Los Angeles and Arizona. I mean, it's tough. I didn't think they played that bad against the Chiefs, to be honest with you. But that's the scary part, is that the Browns offense has done some good things and they've come together, but I don't think there's been a game where they've all come together like the defense for those two defensive games, where those are the games that they won. So you hope that they can.
Now, with the defense trying to come together and they have some opportunities, like you said, looking at the upcoming schedule, does it come down to execution by the players on the field? Is it possibly scheme, people wanting to bring up Joe Woods and having all this talent and still hasn't come together? Or is it a combination of both, just like Kevin Stefanski said after the game, where it's all encompassing?
I think I'm going to give Joe Woods a pass. I know people aren't going to like that. I'm going to give Joe Woods a pass.
We agree on that one.
I think he's not only, dealing with a lot of new faces, a lot of new players, but I think he's had to be conservative at times because, again, you can't go all out against a team like the Arizona Cardinals. It doesn't work. And, when you're getting all these pass interference penalties and you're trying to play defense, it's tough. Like that Arizona Cardinals offense is going to be difficult to beat. That's why they're 6-0. They have a quarterback who can run around like crazy and throw the ball down the field. You can't play too aggressively against them. You have to be a little conservative because you don't want people beating you over the top. Same with the Chiefs. You have to play a little conservatively. When they've been aggressive, they've been great. Like I said, they were great against Chicago. They were super aggressive. They were great against Minnesota. They were super aggressive. Justin Herbert, another one. I thought that they, maybe just got caught up in the track meet. I didn't think they played as badly defensively as the score indicated in that game. But I think the game against the Cardinals, I think that Joe Woods has had good game plans coming in. I think that sometimes it's a blown assignment and sometimes it's a mind mess up by one of the defenders, but you can't play overly aggressive against those teams. And obviously the Browns have showed that they're best when they're aggressive. So I think that they'll come out Thursday night, tonight, whatever, when people are watching this and come out aggressive against Teddy Bridgewater. They've been amazing against the run. They've been really damn good against the run because they are, good up front. So again, they have to be better in the secondary. They have to be better than their linebackers, but I expect them to be aggressive against pretty much the next 6 teams they play.
I mean, all those teams we listed off outside of Chicago, all those teams are awesome offenses. Minnesota is a good offense. Chargers obviously are a phenomenal offense. Chiefs, I mean, come on. All these guys can score. I mean, and I was listening.
The Browns have played again. The Browns have played their 3 losses are against. I mean, again, you should have won 2 of them, right? But they're against that. Those are 3 damn good teams. I mean, the Chargers probably, and maybe even the Browns a little bit too. The Chargers got blown out by the Ravens at home. I think that happens. But I really think that the 3 losses they have, they're good teams. They're well coached. Andy Reid, Brandon Staley, and Cliff Kingsbury obviously didn't coach, but he's made the game plan. So they're playing they've played some really good teams, but they have an opportunity up here to show teams and show the NFL that, hey, we haven't started the way we wanted to, but we can. I think that there's a chance, and I know that this might be a little crazy, but there's a chance they could win 6 in a row right here.
Oh, for sure,
they can do it. They can. I
believe too. Like if you can overcome this adversity, you're going to be stronger on the other side of it.
Yep.
I mean, that's just how it is. It's in everything in life. When you overcome adversity, it makes you a better person, builds character. And this team's still so young. People forget that. I mean, if you look at our injury list right now, it looks like my grocery list. So, I mean, 3-3, this isn't that bad. There's no need to panic like everyone's saying.
No. Yeah. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, the sky is not. A lot of people want to go to the sky is falling thing. The only thing I would say to play devil's advocate to you guys, kind of talking about the games that we've lost, the teams that we're going against, you're going to have to play better defense against good teams. You're going to face good teams in your division if you want to have success in the playoffs. But the only thing is you can only play the schedule as it comes and one game at a time. And your next opportunity is the Denver Broncos. And that's the next game where you can try to find some of that rhythm where then you build on it to then play better against these better teams.
Yeah, you have to. Again, this game I think this is the biggest game by far of the year, because if you lose this game, I could see a tailspin, right? I could see, more in I could just see bad things happen. And if you can win this game and kind of right the ship a little bit, calm down, take a breath. Okay, we're a 4-3 football team. We got to go play our division rivals, our biggest rivals at home on Halloween. That atmosphere is going to be crazy. Let's go. And maybe you'll get Nick Chubb back in that game. Maybe you'll get, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham. I mean, you might get some reinforcements there. So I think this is a huge opportunity for the Browns to just right the ship, just calm everybody down, just stop the tailspin. Because if they do lose, that'll be 3 in a row. That'll be by far the longest losing streak of the Stefanski era. And then you're looking at, oh my God, the sky might be falling. So
you're going into a little mini bye positive, or are you going into it negative? You want to go into that with a win for sure.
Yes, you want to go. Yes, absolutely. Again, it'll help everyone's mindset. It'll probably help, and it's going to sound weird, but it'll probably help people heal faster.
So safe to say, Hayden, just like John Johnson III, you're in the camp of must win Thursday night tonight.
I am in the camp of must win.
So to getting you out of here on this, we appreciate all your time here this evening on the show. your keys to the Browns getting that victory against the Broncos and a prediction for the game.
My key is you got to be aggressive against Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he's definitely mobile, but he's not a guy that's going to dance around like kind of a Kyler Murray. So get after him. I don't love the Denver offense. I think this is going to be a defensive game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think, given that Baker Mayfield's not feeling very good, and I think he is going to play in this game. I think they're going to try to run the ball. I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest. I say the Browns come out with a 17-14 win. I don't think it's going to be, big at all. Maybe it comes down to a last-second field goal by Chase McLaughlin. I think they get the win because they need it so desperately badly. And then they go from there. And you hope that they get healthy, and then you get the really big one against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But until then, you get a chance to breathe.
Yeah, I would just love to beat the Broncos on a last-minute drive.
Yeah.
How'd that feel, Denver?
Exactly.
Shut up some of the critics about not being able to win games on last-second drives, right? So
exactly, yeah. I mean, this is the game for Baker Mayfield to. Again, I think this is the game for Baker Mayfield to really bring this team together, bring this town together. I think things are so everybody's so polarized right now. People are writing off Baker. People are still buying into Baker. This is the opportunity to kind of bring both sides together and say, man, yes, this is the get right game where Baker's like, all right, because if he goes out and plays well, there's going to be no detractors. You cannot detract from him, because if he goes out and plays well and beats the Broncos, you're like, damn, he just had this injury. He gutted it out, and his teammates respect the hell out of him. He came out here and he did his best for the team. There's no way you can take away from Baker Mayfield if he goes out and plays well and wins that game. You can't do it.
But of course, we know that there will be people that still try to find a way to take away from him, even if that happens. But we will keep it real here on the Voice of the Land. I know, Hayden, following all your work as well, you always keep it real too. So we will make sure that across the Cleveland sports team, we are that voice of realism for everyone. Well, now, Hayden, again, appreciate you coming on. How can people follow you, and when is maybe the next performance? Out there singing for people and kind of getting.
People don't know Hayden is a wonderful singer with a great voice, man. He's good. Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah. So let people know where they can find you.
Thank you. You can find me on Twitter at @H_Grove, Instagram at @H_Grove, TikTok at @H_Grove. I sing on TikTok. That's kind of my outlet for that. But also, I have a performance coming up at Crocker Park, November 20th. Should be a lot of fun. It is the day of the tree lighting ceremony. So the kickoff of the holiday season at Crocker. I don't know if you've ever been to Crocker Park during the holidays, but it's kind of like a winter wonderland. It's one of my favorite parts of being around here. So come out November 20th. We'll do some holiday songs. It'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather isn't awful, but I do want to feel that chill in the air. So November 20th, I believe in the evening, it'll be the Crocker Park tree lighting. Come out.
And we'll keep promoting that for you too, Hayden. If you need a spot to promote it at, you got a spot here on the Voice of Land anytime you want.
Appreciate it.
They're more than welcome to come out whenever you want, man.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Hayden. Thank you so much. That was Hayden Grove of Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer, writing for professional and college sports on there, and a lot of good stuff.
Well, it was fun
from Hayden on there. So we are going to hit our final break of the show. We are going to give you our keys to the game and maybe some predictions. Everybody knows how I feel about predictions. I'm working on being better at that. So we'll see if I have one on the other side of this break.
I predict you will be better at it.
All right. Well, we'll see if that prediction comes true, and much more in the final segment of the Voice of Land here on the Big Play Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Voice of the Land here on the Big Play Network, your Browns pregame show on the network tonight. Again, maybe for those just tuning in, we have recorded this show on Tuesday, October 19th. So some of the information, some of the actives and inactives we've kind of talked about, who could impact the game, who couldn't. We may not have all the information at that time, but of course, we are just moments away, if you're watching right now, We are just moments away from kickoff, 8:20 tonight. And I know that everyone at the stadium in and around Cleveland is getting excited. We all know it's a must win. Hayden Grove of Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer, want to thank him again for coming on. He said it's a must win. John Johnson III said it's a must win. I say it's a must win.
I say it's a must win.
Peter, is it a must win?
It's a must win.
It's a must win.
We're saying it's a must win.
So we know that the excitement will be palpable, but the nervous energy will be palpable as well. I know all the fans will be giving the team all that they have.
I should be there loud. I mean, somehow I'm here right now and there.
Oh,
The ghost of sports past Jay and present Jay is at the game though.
Well,
me too.
Present Jay is going to be there, making sure everyone is tuned in right now.
Yes.
To hear what we're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. As you walk the streets
Two
of Cleveland,
places at once. I'm pretty magical, you guys.
as you walk the streets of Cleveland, if during the time that this is airing too, like tell them I figured out
Look at this
cloning.
me.
Freak some people out. Seriously, like get them to follow
Oh,
our
I
show
will. You know I
and
will.
freak them out. Have
Just
some fun with it.
Have it playing on your tablet. Just
If
hold
you
it-
haven't
Yeah.
noticed, I'm kind of a social butterfly. I can talk to anybody and anywhere. So yeah, I'll be doing that.
Halloween costume, just like a T-shirt with with
Oh,
your tablet.
I
just-
have my Halloween idea.
Oh,
I think I might go as like a 1940s reporter with the full
Okay.
suit, the fedora with the press pass and the hat. I was like, that would be a good one, I think.
I
Nice.
kind of did that. I was like a 1960s reporter when not for Halloween, but when I was going to Ohio Media School, we had to do this project, and we decided to do it on, act like we were the reporter or the commentators from the game, the World Championship game, 1964. So I had like a CBS thing on my, on the
Nice.
side and everything. So I think that'd be really cool.
I love fedoras. Just give me an excuse to wear a fedora and I'll do it, I swear.
Just wear the fedora. Put the fedora on. All you gotta do is put the fedora on.
I
And
just
get the
saw-
T-shirt with the tablet and play Voice of the Land. Walk around town. Get people watching
Exactly.
the show. But speaking of Voice of the Land and Jay being in two places at once,
Let's do three.
Let's do
Let's
three at one time. So while Jay is at the game and recording this show right now, we're gonna show you Jay from Sunday in the Muni lot.
No, this is not Muni Lot. This is
Okay.
I'm at Burke Lake Airport on this one. And
Okay.
this is a huge party scene, pretty much. You're not going to see like one fancy trailer. It is just a massive amounts of tents and tons of food.
So here is the third edition of Tales of Tailgating with our very own, always positive Jay.
What's up, guys? It's Jay here with the Voice of the Land. This is another episode of Tales of Tailgating. We're down here at the Burke Lake Airport with my friend Steve, and he's with the Nats tailgate group, as you see the videos beforehand. How long have you been doing this, Steve?
Since 2013.
Awesome. So this is a huge setup you got here. How many people do you estimate you usually have each week?
We're over 300 every week. I would say we got 400 today.
Nice. So you smoked how many pounds of brisket today?
132 pounds of brisket.
132 pounds. And how fast did that go?
Oh my! I started at 2 a.m. Friday night, didn't finish till 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon.
And how fast did everyone eat it, though?
Oh my gosh! It was gone by 10 o'clock.
So about 20 minutes to half hour, it was all gone.
I
Wow.
would say an hour. It took about an hour, maybe.
Yeah. Don't take long for brisket to go.
Not at all.
So I always ask everyone, who was your favorite player growing up? Childhood favorite.
Childhood favorite. I would probably have to go back to Brian Sype.
Cardiac Kids and Brian
then
Sype.
it became Bertie Kosar.
All right. And who's your current favorite player?
I'm gonna say Nick Chubb. It's gotta be Nick. Gotta be Nick Chubb.
Well, I appreciate it. I won't keep you, man. That was great showing off your tailgate.
Thank you.
Let's go Browns.
All right, go Browns.
Thank you so much, Jay, for that report out down by Burke Lakefront Airport for our latest edition of Tales of Tailgating. And we welcome back in our very own, always positive
back.
Jay. Man,
I had to run from the airport, so I'm back. I'm back.
Okay. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it safe and sound. Did you get hailed on or anything like that?
No, that was Sunday. I got hailed on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I did too.
I watched everyone running and me and my gimp leg walking. Like I can't go faster. It sucks.
Yeah, they're calling for rain on Thursday too. I'm not looking forward to being out in the rain if it
Kevin,
does.
I watched an old man run past me. I feel so bad about myself right now.
Oh, yeah. We actually talked. We saw each other on Dog Pound Drive.
I was trying to make it to your tent as fast as I can, and this old man just cruises right past me. I'm like, damn it.
Well, you didn't have to because I'm working too. So I mean, or lack thereof. I don't know, however you want to describe.
You're just having fun down there and getting paid for it.
Yeah, that's all right. It's
no complaints.
Nice way to make some money.
There
But thinking of tonight, Thursday night's game. Yes, I know we've made all the jokes about pre-recording and everything, but this week's game on short rest against the Broncos, all the fans are gonna be ready. They got all that. They got all the food. They have their beverages. They're gonna be ready. This team needs to be ready. Jay, your keys to the game on how the Browns can show that they are ready and get this must win on Thursday night.
I want to see a complete game. Like, hey, I want to see what Hayden said. I really want to put pressure on, as I call him, boring Bridgewater. Sorry. He's not fancy. He's not flashy. He just kind of just middle of the road quarterback, and you got to make him look bad. I want to see them putting him on his butt the whole game. And when it comes to offense, you just got to be efficient. And if you're going to go for it on fourth, you better make it, because you can't have these fourth down conversions failing. It's going to kill you. And hopefully they get some good blocking. I'd like to see them bring in more tight ends and help out Baker so he doesn't get hurt. And we're going to have to need a big game from Dearness Johnson. I believe he's going to do it, because that guy, when he has an opportunity, he seizes the opportunity.
Well, one of the other hosts of the show, Nick Paulus, is all excited because was his name John Kelly, I think his name is.
I mean, I'm a big fan of John Kelly too. I'm not gonna lie, that dude is a bulldozing running back, man.
Well, and that's like, you could still see him from the practice squad too. Like he could be a nice change of pace to really change things up. Now, these teams don't know Dearness Johnson too much. They really don't know. They got to go back to UCLA tape to look at Demetric Felton. John Kelly could be that bruising back for short yardage type stuff if you really want to keep using Felton in the screen game, in more as a wide receiver, splitting him out, that type of thing.
He's a weapon.
He is a weapon, and so they're going to have to find a way to do that. In fourth down conversions, I do like that key, because it's one of two things: either execute better or stop going with analytics and just kick the field goal. And Hayden said it by halfway through the season. Well, we're getting close to that point, and you can't start losing games and get into a losing record when you're going for it on fourth down. You're still not getting it. Like, that cannot be a consistent conversation. I'll get into a couple other keys that I have here in a second, but Peter, your keys to the game.
Really just more consistency across the board. I think pressure on Bridgewater that's a key, and I'd like to see the Browns really focus more on the running game, because I feel like they, most of the time our running backs are getting like 4 or 5 yards a carry. I mean, I don't even know what the average is, but it's probably above 5 yards a carry. And
I'm pretty sure, I don't know anymore. Derrick Henry had a monster game, but I think Chubb had the highest average.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you concentrate on the running game, it's going to open up passing. I agree, get some tight ends in there, because obviously, the tackles we have in there right now, they didn't get the job done. So just execute.
Don't let Von Miller wreck your game, because he can do that real fast.
Oh, yeah.
First off, I'm kind of hoping that at this point, with people watching the show or the show going on, that the inactive list has come out, and at the very worst, only one of those 2 tackles is on there, and one of those tackles can play, because I get it that, Blake Hance came in last year in the playoff game and played pretty well, but you have Blake Hance, some guy named Blake, and you got James Hudson on the other side. And so far, asking a rookie to do that. Now, I still trust Bill Callahan to get guys ready. And, they're chomping at the bit to get that bad taste from Sunday out of their mouth. And maybe it's an advantage to try to get that bad taste out of your mouth sooner rather than having to wait an entire week to play again. We saw it last year when they played Thursday night in week 2 against the Bengals after getting absolutely smashed by the Baltimore Ravens in week 1. So, maybe they can bring some of that confidence and bring a little bit more consistency. My keys to the game, defensively, it's similar to Hayden Grove. He talked about being aggressive against Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah, get after him. Make him feel you. Make him feel your presence. Make him hold the ball in the pocket or make tough decisions. Then make things a little bit easier on your secondary. It all goes hand in hand. If you can get pressure on the quarterback, that makes the secondary's job easier. If you can cover in the secondary, it makes the defensive line's job easier to get to the quarterback and have more time to get their swim moves and all that kind of stuff to try to get to the quarterback. It's all got to work hand in hand. Offensively, boy, I want to see more of the screen game.
I totally agree.
Whether it's the running backs and or the tight ends, more of the screen game, because that is how you're going to get the ball out of Baker's hands quickly. Screen game and quick slants to get a little rhythm, get a little confidence going. Then the adrenaline of the game starts to take in. So whatever other pain medication they gave him, the adrenaline kind of adds to that. Now he's thinking about the game. He's locked into the game. Not saying that he won't be at the start, but he's more locked in and more focused on that than focused on game and shoulder. So now you get in a rhythm. Now you can start taking maybe some deeper shots, depending on how far he can throw it. If he plays, boy, if he doesn't play, you definitely got to go screen game with Case Keenum. If there isn't still a chance, because we don't have an official word, he's playing, he's not. It's up to Baker Mayfield now, probably be a game time decision. So people are probably finding out right now and freaking out one way or the other on Twitter. We don't know. So I'm giving you my reaction to both. If Baker plays, still screen game, quick slants, get in a rhythm, then chuck it down the field if you can. If it's within reason with what he's capable of doing, and you're going to find that out over the next couple practices. If it's Case Keenum, to definitely get him back in rhythm because he hasn't really started a game in a long time, screen game, quick slants, getting a rhythm there. Those are going to be my keys to the game.
Like, I hate saying this. God, I hate saying this. But they got to do the same game plan as the Steelers do with Big Ben right now. Run that ball, play the screens, and quick passes. Get the ball out of his hand.
Yeah.
He's hurt, man. Our line's hurt. We got to get rid of that ball quick.
Yeah. In order to protect him, even if he feels like he can go out there and do everything that Baker does, there was some things that Baker couldn't do, not because of his injury, but because as soon as he looked up, guys were coming right through that line against them. So, and I saw some like quarterback view replays of some of the plays, and you could see where, he's trying to throw the ball where his first read is covered, doesn't even have time to get to a second read. So he is good at scanning the field, and he's getting better at that. But when you don't have, any quarterback will tell you, even Tom Brady will tell you, if you can't get through your reads, even through your first read, because the defensive line is getting through that quickly, life is going to be a living hell that game if that kind of stuff is happening. And that's any quarterback. That's not just for Baker Mayfield. And I'm not going to get into all the polarizing and all the conversations that I hear that are stupid, because I could keep going on my rant like I did last week with Brown's Twitter. The only good thing that, like you said, Jay, that's on Brown's Twitter is the guy that does the TikToks that make fun of Brown's Twitter.
Oh, he's great. Bulletproof West.
Bulletproof West. Yeah. Shout out to him. Maybe we'll try to reach out to him to get him on the show.
I talked to him. I can get him on if you
want. All right. We'll get him on at some point. But quickly, around the horn, predictions before we get to kickoff tonight. The excitement is rising. Do the Browns get that win? Always positive, Jay. I'll start with you.
Denver 21, Browns 24. Win on a game-winning touchdown drive at the end.
Boy, this guy's learning, teasing the people, like going with the Denver score first.
I see that.
I'm learning from professionals like you guys.
I wouldn't use that word on me. I'd use that just one way, and that's
I'll use it however I want to use it.
Okay, Peter, your prediction.
Wow. I am going to pick the Browns to win. I think it is going to be probably a 3-point game. I think it's going to come down. I really think it's going to come down to a field goal at the end.
So you're saying Chase McLaughlin
yes.
is going to get the game-winning field goal?
I think so.
Now, I am getting better predictions, so I'll make one, but I don't have a score for you.
No, you're going to give me a score.
I'm not giving you a score. Damn. I'm running this right now, so I'm not giving you a score. Browns win because they must win. Because if they don't, boy, the reaction on this show and everywhere else before they go into the 10-day break, it really will turn into Chicken Little, and the sky is falling. The sky is falling because you can't go into this mini bye 3-4. So I say the Browns win because they got to win. And it's sometimes for this organization, seems like when they got to win, they find a way to win.
And I don't want, like, if they lose, man, I'm going to feel like I have to wear a bag on my head when I would do the show. Like, it's going to be bad if they lose. I just don't see it happening.
We're not the Phony Grossi Twitter account, so
yeah, that's my buddy.
I know. We can have him on too. Like, I'm not saying anything against him.
He has to wear the bag.
I'm just saying I'm giving him credit for that. I'm saying that's his thing. That's not
his
mine.
bit.
You can't take his bit. So, but that is going to wrap it up for this pregame edition of the Browns game. Enjoy the game, Browns fans. I know there'll be some nervous energy.
Be loud, boys and girls. Be loud.
Whether you're at home or in the stadium, be as loud as you can for this Browns team. Let's get the win against the Broncos. We hate the Broncos, even to this day.
Hey, at least I won't have a blown out voice after this game for the show.
That's right.
I can scream even louder.
Well, it is Tuesday, and Peter still kind of has a blown out voice, so we'll see.
Exactly.
So depending on how the game goes, you may want to knock on wood and hope that you don't have a blown out voice. So for Always Positive Jay and our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tulip, I'm Kevin R. reminding all of you, go Browns. Don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We love you all 3,000. And as always, here we go, Brownies. Here we go. We'll see you next time on the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network.